So what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, we are gonna be watching a video about 15 most dangerous kids toys. So yeah, let's just watch this.
Government regulations today ensure that children's toys are safe to play with, but in earlier times, regulations were either non-existent or insufficient to ensure safe play. Let's take a look at 15 of the most dangerous kids' toys ever made.
Okay.
Number 15. Rollerblade Barbie. Generally speaking, Barbie dolls are pretty harmless, but in the 1990s, a more fiery version
I've heard about Barbies, but I've never have ever heard about rollerblade Barbies, bro.
hit the market, known as Rollerblade Barbie. She stood apart thanks to her two little yellow rollerblades. Now, each one of these rollerblades used a wheel mechanism similar to the kind found in cigarette lighters, so that when the Barbie was rolled, her boots would shoot out sparks.
Okay, that's actually kind of dangerous, you know. Not gonna lie, that could possibly cause a fire, you know. Sparks equal fire, bro. Anyway, let's just keep watching this.
Effect could be accentuated with things such as hairspray, and as a result, a few fires were reported to have been sparked. So it didn't take long for the Rollerblade Barbie to be pulled from shelves, and they're now considered to be a collector's item. Number 14. Mini Hammocks. Put simply, hammocks are some of the best outdoor beds around.
I've heard of hammocks, bro. But I haven't heard of mini versions of these. I think these are so. Yeah, these toys I have never heard of or heard about before. So yeah.
While regular hammocks pose no harm, the mini versions of them have proven to be extremely deadly. How, you might ask? Well, it turns out that the regular hammocks have spreader bars, which are essentially wooden or plastic bars on either end that ensure that the hammock does not collapse. However, the mini renditions that became popular with kids in the 1980s and 90s didn't have these spreader bars, and as a result they could easily twist around a child and strangle them to death. After a report
What? Are you serious right now?
the 1980s and 90s didn't have these spreader bars, and as a result they could easily twist around a child and strangle them to death. After a report that showed 12 children fell victim to these hammocks between 1984 and 1995, over 3 million were recalled in 1996. As a result, hammocks now have to have spreader bars in order to be deemed to be safe to sell. Number 13. The CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit. As far as mid-2000s television show goes, few are as popular as CSI Miami. And while almost most of those watching it were in the 20-plus crowd, in 2007 they had the bright idea of creating a CSI-based toy for kids. Known as the CSI Finger Examination Kit, it was essentially a toy that allowed kids to use fingerprint dust to detect fingerprints on surfaces. However, after some reports of irritation, the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization paid.
Okay, that's actually pretty serious, bro. Not gonna lie. Actually, I don't know if that's really serious.
$165,000 to conduct an independent report. They were shocked to find that about 7% of the dust found in the kit was made of tremolite, which is a form of asbestos. Since asbestos is extremely toxic, the kits had to be discontinued soon after the report went public. Number 12. The Austin Magic Pistol.
Oh, I bet this is actually a real pistol that the company that made this was hiding, bro.
In the 1940s, the regulations around toys were virtually non-existent. Yet the Austin Magic Pistol was so dangerous that even by the standards of the day, it was considered to be a little crazy. Released in 1949 in order to profit off of the rise in space-themed toys, it was a toy gun that shot out ping pong balls with the help of magic crystals. In reality, these magic crystals were calcium chloride, and these were problematic for two reasons. The first was that it allowed the ping pong balls to shoot out at ridiculously fast speeds, making it very easy to severely injure someone. However, what was more dangerous about it was that even just tiny amounts of water or saliva could cause the calcium chloride to explode.
Actually, that's quite serious, bro. Bro. I do absolutely hate when it comes to like banned kids' toys, you know.
Leading to a large fireball that would engulf both the toy and the child's hand alike. So it didn't take long for them to be taken off the market, and today, lawmakers consider them to be actual firearms. Number 11. The Easy Bake Oven. Easy Bake Ovens are easily one of the most beloved toys of all time, bringing the fun of baking to small children.
I've heard about these before. Like 2 or 3 degree bones for children, right?
These little ovens would allow kids to make tiny cakes all on their own. And while the toy's popularity led it to being inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 2006, shortly afterwards Hasbro created a version of the toy that gave it a really bad look. That's because this new edition had a very poorly conceived oven door, and as a result, countless children got their hands stuck inside. This led to numerous second and third degree burns, and in response, Hasbro was forced to recall approximately 985,000 units. However, ever since, the ovens have been redesigned so that they're now much safer, and the Easy Bake Oven can now be found in stores around the world. Number 10. Buckyballs.
Buckyballs?
Of all the desk toys out there, few are quite as fun as Buckyballs. That's because these tiny little ball-shaped magnets can be swirled to make many types of shapes and designs, and they're able to do so thanks to them being super magnetic. These magnetic forces are present thanks to them containing a rare earth metal known as neodymium. And while they make for a cool toy, they don't make for a very good snack. Yet this hasn't caused many a toddler from putting Buckyballs into their mouth. This is problematic because these balls have magnets that are so strong that they will not only form into various shapes inside one's stomach or intestines, but will often stick together through the intestinal walls. This can cause large holes to form, with symptoms often including vomiting blood and intense pain. Sometimes doctors even have to perform surgeries where they remove part of a person's intestine, and as a result, doctors...
That's actually pretty serious, my guy.
...consider the ingestion of 2 or more Buckyballs to be a medical emergency. This led to the balls being banned in the United States in 2013. Yet after a lengthy legal battle, they were reinstated in 2016. Regardless, we suggest keeping these desk toys far away from you.
Friend Bucky's balls. To me, it's just a funny name, you know? Ow, my... Holy... That doesn't look very good.
Your kids. Number 9. Clackers. If you grew up in the late 1960s, then you may have had this simple yet addictive toy, known as clackers. They were 2 heavy balls on a string that would make a loud sound when hit together.
I think I have these.
No.
Modeled after the boleadores used by Argentinian cowboys to hunt, they were marketed as a way to help with hand-eye coordination. Typically made out of wood, metal, or acrylic plastic, they would constantly clack thanks to them following the laws of Newton's cradle. Now, if these were just to be an annoying toy, they wouldn't be too much of an issue. But after some time, it turned out that the plastic...
Did you have these when you were a kid?
No, but I saw other people who did.
renditions were very dangerous. This is because these would often shatter into a million pieces and blind unsuspecting kids when the shrapnel hit them in the...
No way. Blind like green from Rainbow Friends. Also, if you don't know what blind means, it means like you can't see anything. You like can't see a single thing. Your eyesight's like going wet. Pretty much destroyed.
the eyes. As a result, in 1971, the FDA decided to act by placing strict measures such as prescriptive testing and stringent record-keeping on clacker making. This made it far too costly to make the toys, and as a result, they were taken off the market shortly afterwards. We're constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button. Number 8. Sky Dancer Dolls. While there are several dolls out there that can talk, sing, sleep, or even eat, there are a few out there that can fly. Yet that's exactly what the Sky Dancer dolls could do when they were released by Hasbro in 1994, and as a result, millions of them were sold over the years. These dolls worked by having kids pull a long string on their back, which then allowed them to launch into the air and spin like a helicopter. The idea was that they would then land gently. However, the reality is that they would often barrel into the ground fast while moving in an erratic flight pattern. This led to over 150 injuries, with these including scratches.
150 injuries, bro? That's a lot of injuries.
For sure it is. Tis.
Scratched corneas, temporary blindness, chipped teeth, broken
No way. That's pretty serious.
ribs, and facial lacerations. As a result, Hasbro was ordered to recall all 8.9 million that had been sold in the year 2000, leading to many being returned for a refund of between $8 to $25. However, if you'd like one for your own, you'll have to spend about $85 for just one. Number 7. Creepy Crawlers. While toy manufacturers is typically a job left for factory workers in developing countries, creepy crawlers brought the fun home in a pint-sized box. First released back in 1964, kids would use the creepy crawler's thing maker by pouring liquid plastic into a mold, which would then be heated up by the thing maker until it became a plastic toy. One of the main problems with it is that it became extremely hot, as kids could easily be burned themselves while using the oven. To add insult,
No way, bro. What?
Yeah, that's a metal mold. That's a piece of metal that you pour the goop into. The thing gets really super hot in the oven making the toys. And you can get bad burns if you touch it on accident.
And also, my dad was just talking there. I'm a kid. My dad actually created this channel. Yeah, that's right. I'm a kid recording.
the injury, the heated plastic would also let off toxic fumes, which led to many kids being poisoned while playing with.
That's kind of serious, bro. That's kind of serious. My thing maker, what?
The Thing Maker. Despite this, the toy was wildly popular. Various renditions, such as a Hot Wheels car maker and an Edibles edition, were released. In fact, the toy even went on to have its own cartoon series that lasted for a total of 2 seasons.
No.
Yet after some time, they were pulled from shelves and only made a reappearance in the 1990s, after the toy was made so that the plastic fumes wouldn't be toxic, and the oven would stay locked until the toys were completed. Regardless, despite the nostalgia surrounding it, the toy has pretty much been phased out of use. Number 6. Hoverboards. If you happen to be on the younger side, chances are you've tried out a hoverboard. Becoming popular around 2015, they were essentially little electric scooters that would allow you to zoom around your neighborhood at the approximate speed of someone taking a light jog. Now, while these hoverboards may have looked silly rather than scary, it turns out they were responsible for a lot of injuries. The reasons for this are twofold. The first is that many kids were using them while looking at their phones, and this caused countless collisions that led to everything from sprained wrists to broken bones. Yet beyond distracted hoverboarding, the scarier issue was that they had a tendency to explode. You see, hoverboards became extremely popular almost overnight, and this led to thousands of Chinese factories pumping them out at record rates. This heavy production meant that the hoverboards were made with thousands of parts and came in several different brands, and in the rush to produce many of them were not made very well. This led to the lithium-ion batteries in several hoverboards exploding after being subjected to simple things like an electric charger or short ride, and as a result, hundreds of thousands of them were canceled. Yet it turned out that the recalls weren't even all that important, as in just a few short years the hoverboard fad was almost completely forgotten. Number 5. Aqua Dots. At first glance, Aqua Dots look pretty harmless. After all, this toy allows kids to make designs on a tray by using little multicolored beads. Once the design is made, then it's sprayed with water, and it's at this point that the water binds the beads together into a 3D creation. At the time, these fun little crafts proved to be extremely popular, and in 2007, Aqua Dots even won the Australian Toy of the Year award. However, while the creations themselves were pretty neat, what was not so neat were the beads used to make them. That's because while they were supposed to use the non-toxic plasticizer 1.5 pentanediol, in 2007 the distributor accidentally used a toxic compound known as 1.4 butanediol. This was problematic because when it was ingested, it would metabolize into a sedative and hypnotic drug. It wasn't long until children started to have seizures and in some cases fall into comas after snacking on some nasty Aqua Dots. And this caused regulators from around the world to start recalling the toy. While it's not known how many of them were distributed, in the United States alone the figure was pegged at 4.2 million, and there were even concerns that some people would get their hands on these discontinued toys in order to